Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi, and you know what, y'all? You got a special little treat tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening to this podcast, because for the longest time, the three of us have been trying to do a podcast episode together, and tonight's the night, or today's the day, again, whenever you're listening to this. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars, all of those things. You're about to hear me, Monda, and Jason covering episode 2 of season 5, All American, Don't Sweat the Technique. Hope you enjoy it. All right, y'all. So, Jason, sir.
Yes.
Jason, sir.
Jason is here. Jason is here, live, well. Spencer, born and ready.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
Okay, I don't need I don't need the introduction, sir. I don't need the introduction. I already introduced you. What did you think of tonight's episode? If you could rate it and give brief, and by brief I mean brief thoughts. If you could rate it and give brief thoughts, what would your rating be out of 10?
I will give it a 7. I will give it a 7 just because I thought it was too forced on a couple things, especially the Spencer aspect. That's just my opinion.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
But yeah.
All right. What about you, Monda?
I'll give it. It was a solid episode. I'll give it a solid episode. I like Mike and David. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 or 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 is where I stand. There's points where I wish they would have picked up a little bit. But I liked it for the solid storyline overall.
Wow. Well, I don't know what y'all were watching, but I give it an 8.5, and I docked it a 0.5 for reasons that I'll get into when we get into the episode. But I think it was one of their better episodes. I love that all of the storylines were contained. We didn't get a lot of jumping around, which I think that, All American has a ton of storylines going on, but they kept it contained to, we only have 4 storylines to review essentially today, which is a win for me. It's a win for me.
Which is very much a win. I wanted it to be a lot funnier because I'm used to theirs being a lot funnier, but they also was dealing with angst.
You don't think it was funny?
No, it was definitely not funny. I don't think it was funny.
Yeah, I was looking for a lot funny because that's what I like from Mike and David. So
y'all suck. See, this is
no, I'm being real. You know my
y'all suck, bro. It was funny. It was hilarious.
I'm an honest viewer. Don't you do me?
Yeah, you're an honest viewer. Who I forgot. You all are the worst people to have to review this episode. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, it's not. You know it's
I'm an honest reviewer. Don't hate me. I'm an honest reviewer. Don't hate me. I'm just relaying the message.
You know what?
Relaying the message.
It's not that
So while y'all rated a 7.5 a C, I'm gonna give it a solid B plus, A minus B plus. So let's start it off.
A minus B plus. I will give it like a B minus C plus.
No, I give it a C minus.
B plus B minus. C plus B minus.
Jason, I don't even know why I asked Jason for his rating because he's.
I really don't know why.
So anyway, yeah, I ignore that. That was my fault, audience. I take the blame on that.
I really don't know why.
I'm beating my
chest.
I'm
just being an honest reviewer, So I
no, you're not.
Honestly,
the fact that Jason rated this low should tell you how good of an episode it is.
That is true. That is
honestly. So honestly, I'm glad that you rated it low, Jason, because that means it's an excellent episode.
Lexi, for that alone, I will bump it to an 8. Yep.
There we go. But let's get into why I think it's one of the better episodes. The bowl game. We right off the bat, I didn't even know the show was on because we heard the announcer's voice. I thought it was a commercial. And we get them introing the game and the announcers saying basically essentially Jordan's having a tough game with number 65 across the way. But that was it was giving me early season 1 early season 1 high school football, like just being in the midst and in the feel of the game, which I feel like they didn't really do last season. Like I enjoyed the college games last season, but they didn't really immerse us in the world. Like it was a lot of jumping to the tent, which I feel like this time we actually felt a part of the game. Um, but yeah, Jordan wasn't doing too hot. I feel like honestly, and I say this a lot, is I think that Jordan's put in work as a football player, and I think he's a really good football player. But this, I have to say, was probably his worst game ever. His worst
Yes.
game ever. He was just horrendous.
I
Um,
don't think he should have came back. I think wasn't
yeah,
mentally ready. He wasn't
I
mentally
think
ready to come back.
he wasn't. It does seem like a mental block, and we saw that he was struggling with coming back, and he just didn't stand up to the coach to say, actually, you know what, I feel like I need a little bit more time, and so we got the effects of that. uh but we flashed to the girls watching the game, which can we sidebar for a second to say that Billy and Grace were in ATL, and I'm like, we didn't see them in Brixton. We didn't see them in
Thank
Brixton
you.
last week.
Thank you. Remember, I said you better not have a bowl game and not have one of them parents representing or them not watching it, and they actually did the bowl game, which I'm happy they did, and
They
have
were at
parents
the
there
bowl
to
game.
watch.
They
Yeah.
just weren't at Brixton. Billy,
Yeah.
Right,
Billy and Grace said, "We don't want to see Simone."
right. Like there's no reason for us to step on that campus. We didn't go there, but
Period.
I
I was
do
just like, well,
Yeah. I mean, I love the
I do
support for
like
their
that they had
children.
the parents. Yeah, I like that they had the parents at the ball game because if they
me
didn't
too.
have at least like Billy or Mama Laura or Gracie at the ball game, I would have been upset because I was like,
Yeah, no,
oh, their kids got this far and they're not
Yeah.
there. So
same.
I was happy to see that.
And we finally got Grace at a bowl game, y'all. We finally got Grace at a bowl game.
We got her at a game. Period. Let's keep it real.
That's what I meant, but it just happened to be bowl. It's just bowl game is right in front of my face, so I keep saying it. But anyway, we flashed to the girls who were watching at the Baker house, and of course, we follow up on 420, right? Layla is only focused on one player the whole game. She's like, "Get up, Jordan. What's going on? What's going on with my boo?" And
No, you didn't.
Coop over there like, "My boy Spence, the only one showing up. My
Yeah,
my my boy
talking about
Spence."
some Jordan needs to be throwing better. What? You better
Right.
shut up.
I mean that's true though.
I was a little shocked that Liv said, well, maybe if Spencer got open quicker. I said, whoop.
That's what I said. Come for your twin. You better be there for your twin.
And
Cause
he
he ain't
wasn't
never
there for
there for
her.
you.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
and
Mm.
we gonna get into that too.
the O line
But
wasn't protecting. That's what it was. It wasn't Spencer.
yeah,
Jordan got to get the ball out quicker, and he didn't. So he could have ran because he can run. But it's his first game back, and it probably shouldn't have been the bowl game, but it was. So he played, and
Can I
but
go back?
also, I mean, yeah, he should have gotten the ball out quicker. But also, we gotta say, like, that man had no
yeah,
time at all. Like that man was coming unblocked. Honestly, it gave me flashbacks of Lamar Jackson, like, and everything that he has to
Oh
deal
my
with. And I was like,
god.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm triggered. I'm triggered as a Ravens fan.
Can we go back for a second though between the conversation between Coop and Liv because there's some fans who's like I don't understand why Liv is like so mad at the beginning of this episode. Note that this has only been a week that they broke
Two
up.
weeks,
At
right?
that
It's been
point,
two.
no, it's 2 weeks after. It was a week after the bowl game.
Yeah,
That
the
made
bowl
two
game.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
only a week that they broke up, and
And he
she's
broke
going
up.
through the
Hold up, and
stages.
he broke up with her. We need to.
Right. He broke up with her, and she's going through the stages of grief. And at that point, she was in anger mode. Like,
Right.
no, I'm not in here going rah rah Spencer, and you coming at my
Yeah.
brother too. Like,
So I
no, we're
was
not
not.
doing
Yeah.
this.
I was not shocked that. I mean, it was shocking at first because we're so used to, for the past forever. Honestly, she always defends Spencer. So to see her be like Spencer could get open more quickly was a little jarring, a little shocking. But again, given the fact of what they just went through, it makes a little sense.
Yeah.
But basically, the bowl game ends. GAU loses. But here's the kicker: is that Coach Garrett sent Isaiah into the game. Isaiah essentially took out 65 or whoever was giving Jordan problems, and Liv was intently focused on that to say like this isn't, and everybody else was like, oh, what's the problem? What's the problem? Liv was just like, nah, man, they ain't supposed to do it like that. That's not the way the game is played.
And
As a
she is
coach's
a coach's
daughter,
I mean,
daughter. She's a
as a
coach's
coach's
daughter.
daughter, that's not the way the game is played.
yeah.
And she doing her research. Don't play with Olivia Banks when it
Don't
comes to
play with her.
football.
And then obviously Billy saw it, and Liv was calling up Billy on the sideline, and Billy was just like, "Okay, calm. We gonna figure. I was there. I'm here. Da da da." And Grace was like, "Oh, well, I need to know. This is regarding my son, my flesh and blood." And we were like, "Okay,
Like she
Grace. Okay."
cares.
Yeah,
Sorry.
She
you're
cared.
right.
She
Okay,
cared.
Grace. Okay.
Did
She
I
No,
say
cared.
that?
she does care. She cares about Spencer for sure.
Sometimes. Did
So
I say
anyway,
that?
that's how that bowl game ended. I just wanted to emphasize that. But I think that on the other side, what is the name of JJ's team?
Oh, the
What is the
Coastal.
Manta
yeah,
Rays?
coastal.
The Manta
No,
Rays.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coastal California's Manta Rays, that's what they are.
Right.
They won the bowl game. And now it is the off season officially. We jump forward a week. And
Yep.
JJ is wilding out. JJ
Yeah,
is
wilding out.
wilding out. Uh,
I
you
think.
know, Jamie. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna be like, I don't think JJ really loved football as much as somebody who like Spencer who or Jordan who going to work out in the off season. JJ just like to party. I'll be honest. He don't. Football ain't a serious thing. He a great player, but it's not a serious thing for him, at least right now. Uh, to me, from what I've been seeing since season one. He's a great player though. I would say that, but I don't think it's like one of his main priorities. Uh,
Well, and he told us that, right? He told us that in 406 when they were at the
mhm.
cabin,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yeah.
said
Yep.
like he wants to be an influencer, and so
Right.
and he also reiterated it later on. He was just like, you know what, Jordan and Spencer, like their dream is to go to the NFL. That's not my dream. So we've seen that, but also you have someone who's with you and is on the coaching staff, which we saw. Asher's trying to do exit interviews. JJ misses the exit interview, and Asher, and honestly, I was with Asher on this tip. He's just like, JJ, you got a scholarship that you don't even need, and you're
Correct.
not like, I understand that football is not your dream, but you're not even like trying to take this seriously. You haven't exercised once. You're drunk all the time, it seems like. And I mean, what's going on, dude? Like this is like, I don't know what to tell you. And it just seems like JJ's on a downward spiral, and we're getting more of that serious storyline that they keep hinting at with JJ, that there's something more going on there, that maybe he's going through a little bit of a mild depression, maybe, I don't know, something's going on.
JJ also represents some of the student athletes, and particularly football players, who don't really need a scholarship, and their parents can actually send them to college, but they have a scholarship because they were able to get onto the team. And so
Right.
he brings in that other perspective. Not everybody is I need a scholarship to survive. I need to go to NFL to save my family type of thing. And he represents that.
Right. Right. So again, it'll be interesting to see, after he misses the exit interview, we got some cute, even though I know you don't ship them, right? We got some cute Asher and Jamie moments, which I appreciated.
I ship Jamie.
I'm starting to
Sorry,
I'm starting to like that couple. It's starting to get me. It's starting.
that's
Well,
so
I
sweet of
was
you,
more talking
Jason.
about Monda, but okay,
Yeah,
Jason.
she's talking about me,
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah.
You wasn't even that mattered in this point.
Exactly.
That's sweet of you,
Listen,
Jason.
listen,
I
listen.
forgot you were on this
She,
podcast.
I think
Jason,
I
to be
feel
honest.
like that's crazy. That is crazy for real. This is nonsense today.
Listen, I
Oh.
gotta come with the funny. You said the episode wasn't funny, so now I gotta make the podcast funny.
We gotta do what we gotta do. You gotta keep up, Jason. Act like you know us and keep it moving.
No, but yeah,
Audience, I love to mess with Jason. Me and Monda both, and Carmen. We
yeah,
love to
Yes,
mess
we
with Jason.
do.
yeah. It's always a fun time. It's always a fun time. I don't pay him no mind though. Uh,
Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
don't use it.
No, I think Asher's legit changing. I think since he got that heart condition, he been on a different upward spiral. I would say, and
I agree.
Jamie is I would say Jamie plays a big part in that. But
Agreed.
I think he's trying to be a better person. So I appreciate that. And I like the couple. So
He is trying to be a better person. I like him as a coach and him trying to do X interviews and trying to get JJ together and things of that nature. But me and Asher are always beefing. So
Yeah.
as life goes on, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk about it more when we get to predictions. But again, I'm glad to see that they're actually giving JJ the just due. And again, I talked about this last season, but him really earning this storyline of wanting to be taken seriously, because I feel like it would always come in spurts, but
Hmm.
it didn't feel earned. But now they're sort of earning it with having him sort of acting, just wilding out. Period. So that's on that.
Are we gonna address his comment about Liv while he's wilding out?
Yeah, we're gonna address it, but that's not yet. We're not gonna address it yet, but we
Okay.
will address it
I'm,
soon.
I'm holding my tongue. Go ahead.
Yeah, good. Uh, so anyway, on to someone who I think had a cool storyline as well. Layla getting a little PR manager, a new PR manager.
Mm.
yeah.
I actually did not see this move coming. I thought that like Patience was gonna step up, and just that I saw it coming in a different way. Like they always be tricking us in the sana. Not you, Monda. I already knew what you were gonna say. They always be tricking the general audience with the synopsis sometimes. And
Told
so
you don't
we
touch them
saw
synopses. I told y'all.
Layla sort of trying to maybe poach her dad's long-term PR manager, but who she really ended up getting was Gia, who was a long-term intern with her dad's company, and it was good. I feel like that's again some fresh perspectives in the space, fresh perspective for Monica Records, fresh perspective for the girls. I just feel like and by the way, the actress who plays Gia, she played in True Jackson VP. Shout out Kiki Palmer. Shout out
Oh,
Kiki Palmer.
I've never watched that show.
Oh really?
No.
Oh well, yeah. She played the best friend in True Jackson VP. But yeah, I think that she had some good points. Had some good tips for Patience as Patience tries to take her career more seriously. And that was a cute little storyline. At the same time, Jordan was trying to prove to Layla that he was funny,
Which he was not.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
wasn't.
which he was not. Oh,
He
I'm
He
wasn't.
was
agreeing with
not.
you. That's
No,
what makes the storyline to me funny, is
no,
because Jordan is clearly not funny.
yeah, it didn't.
It
It
was
didn't
it
do it
was
for
a
me.
it was the point where I was ready to be like, Jordan, if you don't stop, you're
Literally,
embarrassing me.
like,
As your
shut
picture of
up.
this picture. Like, stop. You're
Talk about
embarrassing
some.
me.
This is a picture of us, Jordan.
I was like, if you don't stop embarrassing me right now on TV,
Wait, and let's not forget. Let's not forget. Patience sitting on the couch with Layla or whatever. Jordan comes in with coffee, and oh, the whole what are you doing here? And and they start talking about Clay, and he's like, I'd take Layla any day of the week, but
business
business
wise, but
wise,
not
not
sex.
sex.
Like, you corny little, if you don't sit down.
It's like, listen, Mike and David are always just gonna find a way to slide some sexual innuendo in there. But it was so funny that it was business wise, not and not sex.
Because if I was patient, I would have been side eyeing you. Like, since when do any
Oh,
one
she
of us want you
was.
for sex?
Oh, she
But I would have
was.
been like, if I was patient, I'd been like, since when did any of us want you for sex? Like, I would have like egged it on. Like, you want to
Honestly,
talk
I
about
would
it?
have been here for it. I would have
I
been
would have,
here
I
for
would
it.
have so egged it on if I was patient. Can I just go back a little bit back to Gia? By the way,
Yeah.
yeah, I like Gia. And I like her nickname IG. I do. I do like the intern Gia. IG. I liked also how she told Patience, she's like, you see like douchebag man or whatever. I see a potential fan, a
Yeah.
potential like connection, a potential influencer, that's how you need to see that new light. And also not to think that everybody want to date you, but more so how you can build your brand and the people in your fan base. I truly like that about her. So I'm glad that Lele snatched her, because that was real. I just wanted to put that out there. Now you
Yeah,
can go
and
back into your daily love.
well, actually, I was gonna flash back to Gia for a second. What I love, because I mentioned bringing new and fresh ideas to your point, Monda, about what she said. I love that they showed Layla sort of in a more empowering light, that it's not always her sort of being reactive or to this thing about Clay or whatever. She was reactive to a lot of
Hmm.
the stuff with Sabine last year, but for her to sort of proactively go out, say, I'm gonna go try to get poach my dad's PR person, and now like, oh, that's not working, but let me do a little sly little interview that like Patience doesn't even know it's an interview, but I'm finna interview this girl to see what she can bring to the table. And I love
And
that. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
I love also how she was able to like wanted Patience to be herself,
Mhm.
and not Patience to have to play up anything or whatever, to see how the two of them connect. Because you need
Yeah.
to someone who can actually understand your artist, and who can actually take you and be able to be comfortable with your artist, and your artist be comfortable with them, particularly with
Right.
PR. So I like how they went
Right.
about doing that.
And I just love. Can we talk about the line? Girl, I am gay. Well, I don't understand how you did not find that funny, Jade. Like that was hilarious.
Nah.
What?
She
There were
said, "I'm
so
gonna
many
let it be known
one-liners.
who I am, just so you know who I am."
Right. It was good, and all of the jokes about, yeah, she broke up pretty recently. She was like, yo, it's still new, the breakup. It's just so stupid.
I love how Liv was like, "You." She's like, "I don't see douchey men." Liv looked at that table like, "I see douchey men." I was like, "You know
Literally.
what? I appreciate this."
All I see are douchey guys. Yeah, that and
Yep.
the patient. I don't even think you shouldn't even be. One person tells you to change your image. It's like, no, Sam was hilarious, bro. But that's just me. Oh, she
And then
broke up
walk off on them.
pretty recently. It's still fresh, still new, still new.
Still fresh.
um, yeah. So that was fun, and had a nice little moment at the end there where Layla finally tells Patience that she did hire Gia. Uh, and that she was like, I never said anything about it being a spy, which I was like, that's a nice little line there. And obviously Layla was distracted because after Jordan sending her all of these texts with all of these stupid memes, all throughout the day or the week or whatever, he makes some business cards that say my name, because up at the top she was just like, oh, I don't even have business cards with my name on it. And she sent him a text and she was just like, no, that was kind of funny. And I
I
was
would
like,
have tossed
girl,
that
no, it
box of
wasn't.
cards at his head.
No, it wasn't.
I
Girl, you just in love. Like, you just head
right.
over heels for this boy, because that is not funny.
That is not funny. I would have tossed the box of cards at his head, baby.
But she was all there
Baby.
over like hard eyes, like, oh my god, like,
Like,
girl,
that is
please
it,
not
it was a
funny
stand
at
up,
small.
all.
It
Layla,
was a nice
stand up.
gesture.
It was a nice gesture. It was
It
a
was
nice
a nice
gesture.
gesture, but I would have tossed some box of cards at his head. Like, what?
Toss the
And
box of
he
cards.
spent
It's like,
one good. I would have tossed that and said, because he didn't even pay for those. You know, he ain't got no job, so he
I
wasted
was
my
literally
mama
like, did
Laura's
he
money.
take Laura's card and like pay for this box?
He's wasting my mama Laura's money on something like that. I was
And you hold up,
give him
and you know it was a
7
rush order. You know it was a rush order too,
and
because it's
she
like he was just texting her throughout the party, like the whole entire party, just being like, "Ha, I'm funny."
right. And you spent all, and those who buy business cards know how expensive business cards are, even to put
And that
my
you
name
have to,
on
you
it.
literally have to buy them in bulk. Like
Right.
you cannot. I still have. I think I brought business cards for everybody on my team, and they were like 500 each. Like it's you can't buy like a small number of business cards, as you saw in the box. It was like 300 cards.
And I would have popped him with those because my mama Laura had to pay for that bill of him just paying some cards that says my name. You crazy
Right,
little boy.
right. But so that was that. I thought that was a funny, well executed storyline as well. On the other end of things, where Jordan was at this party, Spencer finally trying to have fun, y'all.
At whose expense? But go ahead.
So here's the thing. Again, I thought that sort of JJ and Coop would be more active in this trying to have Spencer have fun, but honestly, Spencer did it himself, right?
He did it
After
to himself.
hearing
Yep.
after hearing from Coop that
Well,
Liv has been out every night, which again, but I don't want to go on a rant about Coop tonight. But
I am. Coop is an op, and she needs to get my mama Laura's house.
here's
She's
the
an op.
thing.
She's an
That is
op.
funny, Monda.
Get out of my mama Laura's house, you op.
And look, and she was taking steps, and I was like, Grace, you better give her that house so she could get out.
Yep. If not, she gonna be
You better
sleeping at the beach house on the beach because you are op. You getting out of the house.
literally. No, because can we talk about it though? Because number one, she knows that Liv has essentially just been working on this story the whole time, and so it's kind of pissed me off that she was like, oh, she been out every night and you've been in the bedroom crying, because it's again like, stop speaking on Liv, just keep her name out your mouth, keep her name
Stop
out your
telling
mouth,
Liv's
Coop.
tea.
You know,
I wish Liv knew that Coop was up there telling her tea so she could
Right.
slice her up.
Honestly, exactly. The spiciness that Liv was giving Gia, it should have gone towards Coop. It should have gone
It
towards
should have
Coop.
gone towards Coop.
no, I just think, I think, Coop was just trying to, help out her best friend,
Oh my god.
and
Oh my god.
I'm just being honest. I'm being honest, honest critic,
Okay, go ahead. Have
and
your honesty
like,
moment.
because I had to do that for my best friend. I was like, yo, bro,
Oh my god. Okay.
but nah, listen though, listen.
So you were up too, and you lied on the girl.
No, I ain't gonna lie, cause I was trying to help out the other girl also. So I ain't going. You feel me? I try to help out all people. That's my thing.
So you were up too.
I ain't never been no op. I ain't never been no op.
Apparently you have. Apparently you have.
I'm just trying to help people, get on, from toxic situations, and
Oh my gosh.
so. But
oh my gosh, y'all have been brought into our family moment.
Exactly. Okay, Jason. Well, speaking of that,
Jason, we're gonna sidetrack right now.
speaking of Coop being an op,
Coop felt Spencer needed that, and that was her way of doing it. It wasn't the right way, but it was her way of doing it. So I gotta respect it. She tried, to help her best friend.
you don't gotta respect it, but okay.
Be happy. You feel me? Which
But Cooper's been in his ears since like last episode.
Yeah.
Like you and Liv got to make a decision. He ends up breaking up with her. Oh, Liv out here all out all this time. Oh, now he going out and at a fight, and she coming along too.
Right. And she's even bringing this nonsense to Grace. Like, Grace was standing right there too, and thank goodness. I was very pleased that Grace stood up for Liv a little bit this episode. Was very pleased by that. Was very pleased. But yeah, Coop was doing too much. But again, Spencer took that and was just like, you know what, JJ, you got the right idea, bro. You got the right idea. Let me take myself to a party. We know he don't know no girls on campus, so he was like, I know one girl. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was finna be Coop since she said she was going to GAU, but it was actually Davida. I forgot about Davida.
I knew it was gonna be Davida, but that was after JJ said that thanks God Liv was so difficult to date, tough to date.
Right.
If I ever wanted to slap JJ across his face,
that was messed up.
Liv was catching strays from all of the men on the show today, and I did not appreciate it.
They act like she broke up with them when he broke up with her. Like, what's your problem?
Well, it was very strange because you had that obviously, and then JJ had the whole thing that was like the Smash tour, the Smash Spencer James tour, which he blasted on Yard Yak, by the way. And I was just like, JJ, not you messing up Olivia's business too now. Don't JJ, stay in your lane, brother. Stay in your lane. JJ, I know you not trying. Don't make the fans turn on JJ now, because I was like, JJ, you need to come all the way down. But did the whole Smash tour. With that being said, Jordan also had that line that was just like, oh, if I could break up with her, I would too, but I'm her twin. And I was like,
And talking about
Jordan,
my
don't piss me
DNA
off.
won't let me. You know how many times I've been trying to break him up from my sister because he's trifling? You have
Right.
lost your mind.
I was like, Jordan, you're
A
and
horrible
just
twin.
several a horrible twin, especially this episode. Several times, he was like encouraging Spencer to go after girls, and I really didn't like that or appreciate that. Like your sister, your twin, is hurting, and you just like, oh, I would break up with her too, and blah 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 blah. And
Well,
you go after this girl?
here's what I find funny. When Simone broke up with him, he crying all up in Spencer's shoulder and tears and stuff. But when
We'll talk about it.
When Spencer breaks up with Liv, oh, it's okay for you to go have sex with somebody else, Spencer. My sister don't mean anything. Boy, I will knock the taste out your mouth. I'm sorry.
Literally
Go ahead.
encouraging,
I mean,
literally encouraging him to have like one night stands and everything.
Yes.
I I mean,
But then he had one night stands
Yeah,
after he broke up. So
give us a one guy's perspective. You
go
can't speak
ahead,
for all
Jason.
men, but go ahead.
yeah. I'm just going to say, I felt, the reason why I rated it so low is because I felt like they try to force, uh, Spencer to be moving on like he didn't, wasn't in love with Liv and all that, and it wasn't doing it for me, because I knew that my guy was in love with her, and it wasn't, it's not just going to magically disappear, so all this, I knew when the Smash Tour thing popped up, and Davina showed Spencer that, I knew it was JJ. It's like, bro, you wilding for real. You need to stop this nonsense. And then, Liv thinking that, it was Spencer who did that. Like, nah, Spencer ain't gonna do that, he love you. Even though he broke up with you and stuff like that, he's not gonna just instantly try to, go, you know, get with girls
Go
or
sleep with somebody after he got his heart broken. He
yeah.
won't do nothing like that, huh,
And
Jason?
he won't do nothing like that,
We gonna talk about it.
Huh,
We gonna talk
Jason?
about it.
Nope, he
But
is
can I
not,
say this?
man.
Can I say this, Jason? I think it's interesting that you walked away with that perspective, and I'm gonna take this time to speak a little bit on I as a Olivia fan, I understand we don't want to see them. I actually think this breakup is good for them because I think it helps them
Yes, I
sort
do
of
too.
rebuild their friendship. But I know a lot of people are upset about it, and a lot of people were like, "Turn off the TV movement!" Like we're not watching. But I think that with that being said, I feel like this was a really solid episode, and I think if anything, this episode only proved over and over and over again that Spencer and Olivia are in game. They are in love and
Yes.
that
Yeah.
he can't move on fast, right? He tried
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
Whereas in
Yeah.
the
He tried
past,
to. Girl all on the bed, but we'll talk about that later. Yep.
literally in his room. And whereas in the past, which I marked this as a growth moment for him, in the past he would have moved on really quickly. He would have slept with the other girl, as we saw, right? In
Right.
season 3 and prior.
Yes.
That's
Right.
and by his own admittance, right? He was just like, "That's the first time I've ever turned down a girl." Like, and so this was a major growth, and it shows how different Olivia is for him. And between what he said, what Liv said, and what Grace and Billy and all of the other characters said, it just reaffirmed that like this breakup isn't easy for anyone. They are really good for each other, and everyone is actually rooting for them to be together.
Right.
They are so attached. Like Lexi and I, not Jason. Lexi and I have been predicted this breakup and things of this nature. But we also always said that Liv and Spencer are attached to each other's lives. Like attached in every single way and form. The only person that's like all okay for this like breakup is the op coop. But we about to get rid of her, so
Please. I don't think the writers get rid of Goop. But yeah, so it was interesting. It was interesting to watch him at the party. Interesting to watch him try to talk to girls. Right, same Spencer new corner. I also thought that was a funny line that Jordan the only funny thing that Jordan had said, and it was accidental. besides the business wise, not sex. Just his only funny
no,
moments were accidental.
no, the other one was when he was like he talked about how Spencer doesn't how people just prop girls up and Spencer steals the girl. That was
Yes,
funny.
stealing a girl. I forgot about that. That was
That
funny
was
too. That was
funny.
funny too.
That was
It's
funny.
called the
In
Spencer,
front
right?
of
Yeah.
Asher.
Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was funny. That was good. That
That
was
was
good.
funny. I'm gonna give him that. In front of Asher. That was funny.
So
So
yeah,
yeah.
when Jordan wasn't trying to be funny, he actually was funny. Which
Right.
go
You
ahead,
just
go
don't
you,
need to
go you.
try.
Don't try, Jordan. Don't try.
Don't try at all.
Some other things that we found out, right? Spencer is not Davita's type because Davita is into girls. We love it.
Oh,
We love
And
yeah.
she
it.
was, baby, she was having a good old time at that
She was
party.
having a good time. What did Spencer say? Come up for air.
I'm telling you, I am on the Patience and Davita train now.
Oh
I
yeah.
want them together.
I
Yep.
would
I
like
was
to. Yeah,
thinking that.
I
I
could
was
see it
thinking
on the
that
screen.
earlier. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be
Yep.
good.
That'll
It
be a
would
good
be.
one.
It would be. It would be. But yeah, it was interesting to watch. Again, interesting to watch because Spencer is so serious all the time. So it's almost like he's allergic to fun. And I don't think that sure sometimes it's a case of the writers, but I also think that's just a case of the character. Like Spencer is a
Right.
very serious character. And so even when he tries to have fun, he's just like same Spencer, new corner. New corner. Let me find the corner of the party. Uh and I think that he will take steps though to do more and try to be more involved in campus life and see campus life through single eyes, as JJ put it, and we'll see how that goes for him. He's still going to be in love with Olivia, though. He even tried to call Olivia
No.
after attempting to sleep with another
Okay.
girl. Question
Okay.
mark.
Okay. So this man, okay, give me 2 seconds. This man was in his bathroom, brushing his teeth, washing his face, cleaning the mirror, all that, because he couldn't have sex with this girl, and then he chooses to
That was funny. That was hilarious.
that was hilarious.
Spencer James, I love that
He
Spencer
was
James.
doing
He was
all
like,
that to get it together, but he cleaning the mirror, he doing everything because
the
he know he was
floss
doing
too.
wrong. Yes, and he knew he was doing wrong. And so he decides, he says, I can't do this. I'll give you a ride home, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, don't bother. This gentleman sits on his bed and decides to call Liv. What was he going to say to her? Huh? What was he going to say? I tried to sleep with somebody
I
tonight. What was
tweeted
you going to
no.
say to
He would.
her?
This is what I tweeted. He was gonna say the dating pool has pee in it. Liv, I miss you.
And I said he was going to say,
I miss you, Liv.
I tried to sleep with someone else. What was you going to tell this girl that you broke up with, that you just tried to sleep with somebody? What were you going to do? Jason, what was he going to do?
He
Since you
was.
like to think you know Spencer best.
Listen,
What was he going to do?
I do. He was just gonna be like, I made a mistake breaking up with you. I'm really in love with you. And I want to work, to progress this relationship. Um,
Oh my
and
gosh.
Oh my gosh. No,
He was
Jason,
yes,
no.
not gonna say
yeah,
all that.
yes,
He was not going to
yes,
say all that, Jason.
yes. You can
No,
see it
he
in
was
his
not.
eyes.
After I just broke up with you, now I'm ready to progress the relationship.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't progress the relationship after some girl was just in my bed
you can
taking
see.
my
Right.
I already
clothes
knew.
off.
I knew my guy wasn't going to, do anything. I knew he
Oh,
couldn't do anything. So it's like
oh my gosh.
I don't even know why they. I just say it just felt forced.
What
Okay.
was the funny thing
You keep
about it
saying
was
it felt forced, but I feel like it felt very realistic. I think that's very realistic to
realistic for someone
college
who
of
broke up with somebody he was in love with.
yeah, he again, Spencer broke up with her. He did not get broken
Don't.
up with.
Yeah, but
Yes.
don't mean it doesn't mean that he can he's going to do sleep with another girl or be out doing
But he
crazy
didn't.
thing. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, he
saying.
didn't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
He was
didn't do that.
also
Because
The point I'm trying to get at is I think you're saying that the episode felt forced, but I think that that's real life is that when people are trying to figure out a way to move on, they force
mm-hmm.
themselves to move on and then they realize like Spencer did, I'm not ready to move on. And so I don't think that the episode in and of itself was forced. I think that Spencer was trying to force his moving
To
on and then
himself. Yeah.
figure it out that he couldn't do that.
Yeah, and it wasn't just him, it was other people trying to force him too. Because when he told Jordan the next day, he was like, what I had with Liv was special. Jordan was still trying to encourage him to seek out other girls because Jordan just has no, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
Jordan
no
was tripping
confidence. He was tripping.
on that
And
end.
then Spencer was like, yeah, let me call her. I like doing hikes, which you found out from
Only
Liv,
to
by the way,
find
you little
out that
dirtbag.
JJ done spent the night with the girl.
Girl, JJ done stole your girl. He just swooped in and took the girl. and all of that. But you know what? It's just what needed to happen. He needed to see what happened.
Yeah,
So
and he
yeah.
still admitted, like I said, I don't think that this was a bad episode for Olivia by any means, because what did
No.
he say? What me and Liv had was special. Again, their bond reiterated the whole
Hmm.
entire episode, just how strong and how unique of a relationship they have. With that being said, let's get to Liv's end of things. They have my girl Liv messed up. They
So
had her
messed up.
messed up.
So messed up.
We'll get to the article in a second. But can we talk about this quote at the top from Billy when she went to go talk to him about the article? And she was just like, yeah, is the ex I still have feelings for, and who is involved in every aspect of my life. Is it weird talking about him? Yes. I said, okay, Sam, act down. Act down.
Yes. Like you better tell them what it feels like for you because everybody else is not understanding this. Like he's part of
And I,
every part of her life.
and we heard, I think, again, one of the criticisms last week was like we didn't get Liv's POV. We got Liv's POV very, very strongly in this episode.
Yes. From the very beginning, from when she was up in her feelings watching the game to all the way up to the point where to the end.
Right.
We got her point of view.
And I think this is again something Monda, and Carmen, when we had those discussions with her, have talked about is she, even if when we were talking about potentially them breaking up, we were like, even if they break up, like they are connected for life, right? And this
For
is now what
life.
Liv is
Because of their
acknowledging,
trifling
right?
parents.
Hmm.
Exactly. And this is something that the writers took the time to acknowledge in the dialogue, is like, and who still is involved in like almost every single aspect of my life. Yes, it's a little weird. So I really appreciated that, and I again appreciated hearing her say that. But again, they had my girl Liv messed up because from the strays that she caught from JJ and Jordan and Coop and everybody else, to her now having to see the Smash tour on Yard Yak, and Spencer dancing up on some other woman on the thing, like while she's, which, can we talk about this? Why did they have the girls at Slosson's while the guys were at a party?
Thank you. Thank you. Why? I don't understand this, but you know how I be feeling about the writers, so I'm gonna be very nice. No, I'm not.
I was so
That's
mad. I
out of
was just like,
control.
"Are we gonna get them? Are we gonna get them crashing the party?" And we did not get that.
Like
We did not get.
you knew they wasn't gonna crash that party. They wouldn't
Well,
give them
and then
that
when we
joy.
found out that it was like an interview, I was just like, "Okay, this sort of makes sense."
But it's
But
still they should have some type of fun in this.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that they should have had them have more fun, and it was more business focused. And that is why, again, that's one of the reasons, that and the Jordan thing is why I docked them a half a point from a 9. But yeah, I did it. I wish that the girls had more fun on their night out, because Liv was going through it.
Yes, and she needed to have
Yeah.
fun. If no
Yeah.
one else needed to, for her to sit there and look at the yard yak while they're doing the interview, that wasn't what she needed. She
Right.
needed to have a
And
good old
Instagram
time.
and IG and watching Spencer dance on Isaiah's
Yeah, she
little
didn't need
feed.
that. She needed to have a good
It
old
was
time.
rough. It was rough. It was rough. And
So
here's
rough
the
for
other
her.
thing is, another reason why it's docked a little bit and doesn't get to that 9-10 range is because we know that Liv wasn't happy. We made the jokes about her getting angry at Gia earlier. But also, like, we didn't see Liv and Layla's convo about the night and them talking about how Liv is feeling post breakup, which we know that they had, because Layla came later and said, "Oh yeah, Liv and I talked about it, and she wanted me to apologize to Gia for her, and she was just struggling a little bit last night." And it's like, but we can't get that conversation on screen.
Yeah.
We're never gonna. Everybody talks about Liv's aspect and what Liv has been doing since 5-1. Spencer talked about her being in the courtyard with her friends. Coop talking about her going out and how she's out with people. Layla saying, "Oh, we talked about it last night," but we never see Liv's interactions on the screen.
and
It's
I
off
think that's
camera somewhere
and I
in their
think that
bedroom.
goes, what we've talked about again, is that goes beyond Liv, and they just do not let the women on this show fully experience their lives. And I think, like, we got a whole episode dedicated to seeing, and again, he is the protagonist, so it makes sense, but we get a whole episode dedicated to seeing Spencer reason through these things, go through the whole gamut, but we can't even get a scene.
Right.
We could literally get a solo Billy and Grace scene that we don't need about
At
Carter or whatever
all.
in a blender, but we don't get to see Liv and Layla talking through her feelings about her breakup with Spencer and why she was so angry at the cafe enough to be like, okay, that was out of pocket of me. Let me say sorry to Gia of me. But like also like Layla comforting Liv, because I think that's something that fans, right or wrong, like fans were just like that doesn't happen, but we see that it happened and it just happened off screen, and that is really, again, is going to continue to be one of my critiques of the show, is like let the women have fully realized friendships just like the guys have fully realized friendships.
Well, what would that look like? Because is Lele, I'm asking this in all honesty, and I'm not trying to be a hater. Is Lele really ready to hear Liv talk about her breakup with Spencer? Because
Apparently she is,
remember,
because they talked about it. They
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about it.
but at what level did they talk about it? Liv could have just apologized and left, because Liv
I
sometimes
don't
don't
think
share or
that's
whatever.
no, because Layla said, she, again, it wasn't just she told me to apologize. It was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
she was having a rough night. There was a longer note there. And to your point, yes, I think Layla is ready to have that conversation. But
yeah.
again, we can't see that because we didn't get it on screen. Like they didn't show us on screen. Even though I do think that she was ready and that they already had that conversation, but we didn't get it on screen. So I guess we'll never know.
We will never know.
But we will know because that girl was laughing at some business cards from some guy who's not funny. Some
That
guy who
is
we all
not
agreed is not
funny.
funny. She over there cheesing hard. She cheesing Caesar hard over there.
I was, man, I would have snatched him out of Lele hand like Lele. You know what? I got your back. Let me just
Stood
toss him
up,
at his head
stood
real
up.
quick. Stand up. Let me just toss him at his head
Talking
real
about
quick.
some, hold up the other line, talking about some saved by the ringtone. Girl, get up, get
Right.
up.
Like, I'm like, don't have me, y'all too. But we're going
But
on to this Liv situation.
yes, back to the article. So that was Liv's end of the breakup, and we'll talk more about that in predictions. But really quickly, like we said, Coach Garrett had Isaiah target the other player on the team, and Jordan and Liv were fighting about that a little bit. Billy ended up telling Jordan about the whole thing, and Billy. So, all right. He gets a point from me for asking how Liv felt about Spencer and the breakup and all of that. But then Billy talking about some, I need to take the lead as an adult. You
Oh,
should have been doing that in high school, sir. Now they're in college and she a whole entire young adult. Like, you can't be
right,
saying that. You should have been saying all of this way back when. You should have actually been parenting for real.
right. And then here's the deal: you all of a sudden want to take over her story, the story she brought
Right.
to you, sir.
Period. Which she,
It's
Right.
we'll
it's
go get to
because he
that
wanted to
too.
protect, Spencer and Jordan.
Oh
That's
my
that's
God.
that's
Thank
why.
you. Now
So
you're
there
right.
you
He wanted to
go.
protect
You're
Spencer and
correct.
Jordan, not Liv. Spencer and Jordan.
Correct. And
You were
Spencer
correct
most
for
of all.
once,
Spencer
Jason.
Come on,
most
don't
of
do
all.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We will do that. Did
Don't
we
do
hold
that.
up? Did we get any seed of Billy being like, "Oh, I know that was a tough game for you, Jordan, but you'll bounce back." Every
Nope.
single time Spencer had a rough game last season, where was Billy? Right in that locker room.
Let me rub your shoulders. Let
So
me
I don't
give
want to
you
hear
something to
nothing. I don't
drink.
want to hear
It's gonna
nothing
be
from
all
you,
right.
Jason. He is caring about Spencer first and foremost. That's probably why he asked Liv about it, because it had to do with Spencer,
Right. And
his
then
real
here's the
son,
funny
his
thing.
only
Remember,
child.
the beginning part of this episode, he said Jordan came back too soon. But did he check in on his son after the loss?
Nope, not at
Nope.
all.
But if Spencer had made that mistake and they lost the game, he'd have been all up in Spencer's face, like, "Are you okay?
Right.
Do I need to give you something?" It's not gonna be.
So we not even gonna talk about that. But so yeah, he said all that to Liv. He needs to take the lead. Then Liv goes and talks to Jordan about it, and Jordan's just like, Isaiah's a good guy. Isaiah's not Wade, etc., etc., etc. And Jordan talks to Billy. Billy goes tells him to like watch the tape to see what Garrett's doing, especially because Jordan's on his team. Jordan himself had issues about being rushed back by Garrett.
Right.
Right.
And so Jordan is starting to do his little own investigation with the party, and not Isaiah. Not
coming for
Isaiah
his
saying
neck.
stuff after you threw a pathetic pass. I was just like, but you was just dapping him up, Isaiah.
Right. But he was getting called out. So you know how when people call
Yeah,
out, they on the defensive?
yeah.
He
Hit
was
dogs will
all on the
holler.
You
defensive.
Hits
can't.
dogs will holler.
But the thing of the matter is Jordan, you had to go to Billy, sorry of excuse of a father, to believe your sister who came to you and said, I'm going to approach you better than I approached you with Wade
Right.
and tell you what I found. And not once at this point, we'll probably see this in the predictions as we talk to the next episode, that he goes, okay, Liv was right. But he went ahead and like, let me do my own little investigation and
Yeah.
everything. But you know what? You know what I found funny though? Because, and you have this here. When Jordan comes to see Billy, he said, I swear my mom, your mom and me raised y'all right. Like we had y'all, we gave y'all manners. Like y'all just,
Which I was like, okay, Billy, Laura raised them right. I don't know what
thank
you were
you. My
doing.
mama
Cause
Laura
you
did
hold
that.
up,
You ain't do
you was
nothing.
studying plays while they were at Universal. Goodbye.
Hey, you didn't do anything. My mama Laura raised them right. She gave them manners, sir. You better be thankful that she did that.
Oh my
Even though they don't
goodness.
use it and they slightly are criminals. But that's okay though.
It's slightly criminals? Question mark.
They
Full
yes, they
criminals.
slightly criminal.
Full criminals. So that is what happened, and we got this wonderful talk from Liv to Billy again, seeing more of her point of view and being like, you know what, I brought this story to you, as Monda just shared, but I brought this story to you. I'm not gonna wait for you to get your ducks in a row because this is my story. And I really don't appreciate you treating me like a kid, especially when you treat Jordan like an adult.
And I'm the more mature twin. She said it. I'm
Boom!
the
And
mature
I'm on the
twin.
more mature trend, which she is.
Is. She so is. Oh,
So that was
you have
really good to see Liv standing up to Bill. Any day anybody stands up to Billy, especially when it's my girl Liv, it's a good day. Honestly, I
it's
should
a
bump the
good
episode
day.
up to a 9 just for that. Just for Liv coming at Billy, I'm bumping the episode up to a 9.
But here's the deal. Here's the issue I have with that little Lexi. It had to wait till Gracie told him to give her space for him to come to his understanding of giving his own speech on how he's gonna let her be. You know what? You are full of crap, sir. You are full
Well,
of crap.
we
Your
know he
Gracie
always listens
told
to
you.
Gracie. His
it's
little Gracie.
Your Gracie
all
told you
greasy.
how you gonna be able to listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you know
man.
how I feel about that
But I'm glad
relationship.
they addressed Billy's shenanigans because he always is in some shenanigans. And it got sort of confirmed at the end that Isaiah and Spencer starting to question what's up with Jordan and Liv and etc. with the coach. But Isaiah got a full scholarship. What is it? A week after taking a player out. So they got some more evidence for this bounty situation combined with his little outburst to Jordan at the party.
Yeah, and Spencer was like, now it's time for you to tell me what's really going on. Because
Yeah.
Spencer had already was being nosy when Liv
Yeah.
and Jordan was like arguing.
Yeah, we know he was watching her through the bushes for the past 6
in the
weeks
bushes, but not in the bushes, wide open, looking at her.
and
And
openly
then he
looking
was
at
like,
her
"You about to
across
tell me what's really
the
going
way.
on."
Yeah.
Yep, he's like, now you
So-
about to really tell me what's going on.
Insert the Matt Cornett meme of him standing behind the bush. Love that meme so much from High School Musical, the series.
I can't.
The musical, the series. So yeah, that brings us to predictions. Thanks for listening to Film Study, an All-American podcast. Stay tuned for our predictions for episode 503, Feeling Myself.